He fumbled with the little piece of paper, blushing deeply as his feet shifted side by side, while his eyes targeted the window that was a floor underneath him. One quick leap from the fire escape, landing before her window was all that he ever had to do now. Even though this was a simple action for a ninja such as him, it wasn't the case with his nerves out of whack and his heart was running a marathon. I can do this, he told himself, crushing yet again and placing the note in his pouch. He leaped out of the shadows onto the landing below, then lightly tapped the window. Within the time frame for her to answer, he had suppressed his nervousness and feelings entering her apartment with a clear head. Thanks for coming on short notice, Dawn. April smiled sweetly at him. Of course. Donnie walked toward the couch, making himself at home as his eyes fell toward her bedroom. A moment later, she emerged from the room with her hair done up. Surprisingly, she was also wearing makeup too. The living room to him felt as if it raised up a few degrees, as he couldn't help shifting uneasily in his spot. What was she up to? How did she want to go about this? He was a turtle after all, and being in public wasn't so simple of a task for him. What do you think, Donnie? April showed off her outfit. Looks great on you, April. Donnie nodded, holding his breath. She was breathtaking after all, with those curves, that red, healthy, bright hair, and those sharp green eyes that would snare a man's soul with. Even in her Sunday slacking couch wear, she was just stunning. Thanks, Donnie, she smiled, deeply looking over a mirror that was hanging on the wall. Once she is done with her makeup, she made a quick turn toward him. Now, about tonight. Yeah? He asked eagerly, with his heart roaring so loud in his eardrums that he feared he might not be able to hear what she had to say. Sweat covered his palms, and he had to clench the couch to dry them in a manner to make sure it wasn't so obvious he was nervous. I know it's late, and I'm looking forward to tonight. She paused, lightly biting her lip. She was so cute when she made such a habit. Yes, about that. Donnie was about to ask her what she was planning, and that he was sorry that they couldn't go out like normal people to do the fact that he was a mutant. However, that never came out. There was a knock at her door. Oh, what time is it? She frantically asked, making her way to the door and opened it. Donnie's confusion started to rise when he gawked at Casey, walking into her apartment. Hey, babe, are you ready? Casey asked with a sly smirk. For one that always wore either gym wear or casual clothes, he was all dressed up in a black tuxedo, fancier than anything Donnie would even consider Casey would have in his closet. Yes, 1 minute, April told the impatient man and turned to Donnie. Sorry, Donnie. Like I was saying, all I need you to do is make sure the boxes down in the storage room are placed upstairs on the main floor. I didn't want Raph to do it because you know what happened last time. Speechless, Donnie stared, heartbroken, with a little spark of hope in a world that could have been shattered. For the life of him, he couldn't figure out what was going on. Didn't she just write him that note too? Seeing her eyes focus on him with a hint of concern, he suddenly snapped out of it and made a nervous laugh. Don't remind me about that one. Donnie covered up his reason for his laughter. Thanks, Don. Like I said, I was looking forward to tonight. Yet, with the sale tomorrow, I couldn't. Say no more. Donnie insisted that she should get going and not make Casey wait. It was moments later that she shut the door behind her, leaving him alone in the apartment by himself. Confident that she wasn't coming back, Donnie pulled out the note. He didn't get it. It was addressed to him by her writing. Or was it? A snicker came from the fire escape outside as a rage fueled him, catching on what this really was. He dashed over toward the window, taking his brother by surprise. Mikey must have figured he couldn't hear him in the dead silent room. Mikey! Is this what you're doing? Donnie snarled, upset that Mikey would play with his feelings like that. Mikey coughed red-handed, turned white as a ghost, and ready to jump out of his shell. Fumbling with his words, Mikey jumped up a step, then two, making some distance from him and his angry brother. Well, I got to go. Leo is, calling me. The little trickster with haste scaled up the ladder and disappeared in the shadows. Donnie would have given pursuit to teach him not to play with other people's feelings, especially when it's over a crush he stated he didn't have anymore, instead of yelling out, "You are aware this means war."